Today I'm going to talk about how the daily, tiny decisions that we make become our complete reality. That's what creates the life that we're living. Every small decision that we make either takes us towards a life, let's call it the radiant life, that is full of love and good relationships and physical health and financial abundance, living in the place that you want to live, doing what you want to do with your life. You have a community. This is the radiant life that we are looking to make. Then there's this other life that we could be living right now, and it is the life of strife. And it is full of chaos. Relationships are all falling apart. There's always some kind of drama, some kind of issue. Sometimes it includes financial hardship, physical unhealth. It is like the worst version of ourselves. That's the life we're living. These are the two lives I want to talk about, and how tiny little decisions that we make every single day take us in one direction towards a life of radiance, or in the other direction towards the life of strife. Now, there is a whole middle ground between those two lives. I'm not going to talk about this middle life today, but a lot of people are living in that middle life and they don't really have much motivation to get to the radiant life because they're okay. Things aren't horrible. Things aren't great. They're just But I'm going to talk about the two ends of the spectrum today because it gets my point across much easier. The little decisions that we make every day accumulate. It is not one big decision that allows you to cheat on your husband, or to look around and realize you've lit all your relationships on fire, or to realize that you're in a completely unhappy partnership, or that you hate where you live, you hate your job. It is not one major decision that gets you to that place. It is many, many tiny ones. And those accumulate into the life you're currently living. Every decision you make, from what time you wake up, how healthy your food is, whether you go the extra mile to wish someone in your life a happy birthday, or kiss your partner goodbye, or leave angry, or not get stuff ready the night before so that the next morning you're frustrated and you forget things. Every single one of those decisions, along with every other decision we make, is a vote towards dream life, radiant life, or a vote towards chaotic life of strife. Every decision. It doesn't seem like it in the moment because it's such a small decision, but it 100% is based on those small decisions. And if you are not aware of the fact that it's all these small decisions that take you into which life you're living, you are going to end up in the life of strife. There are very, very few people who just stumble into success or stumble into complete happiness and radiance and a life that's thriving. We sometimes look at people who are super successful and we think that they're lucky. That's not luck. Those are daily decisions to work towards that life. It is not an easy trajectory. It is much easier to get into the life of strife without any intention. That's usually where you end up if you are making all of these decisions along your life without intention, without knowing what you are deciding. And it is nobody else's fault that you make those decisions and that you don't know that you're voting for this life or this life. This is on each of us individually. We must first and foremost take responsibility for where our life is. You can blame others. You can blame the government. You can blame the country you're in. You can blame your state or province. You can blame your husband. You can blame your child. You can blame your sibling. You can blame your parents. You can blame the weather. I have. I'll be honest. I've been like, it's winter. It's dark early. I don't feel like working out. I feel like sitting here and vegging and watching Netflix and eating food because I'm bored and it's winter and the weather's awful. I have even made that excuse somewhat recently, but those are exactly what they are, as excuses. If you are blaming everyone and everything around you for where your life is, you will never change your life. Taking responsibility for where you are right now, based on your decisions in life, is the very first step. There are two facets to taking responsibility for your life. On the one hand, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good if your life is in a place that you are not happy with, and you have to look at it and think, I am here because of my decisions. I don't enjoy that. And I assume most people don't really, truly enjoy taking responsibility because it puts the onus on you. You are here because of your decisions. I am here because of my decisions. The other side of the coin to that, though, is that when you take responsibility for where you are based on your decisions in life, you realize that you have the power to make different decisions and change your life. That's the wonderful thing about it. It is not up to anyone or anything else to get you to where you want to be. And there is power in that, because then you realize, oh, well, if I made the decisions to get myself here in this life that I'm not happy in, then I can make the decisions to get myself over here in the life I want. And that is the wonderful thing about taking responsibility. Until you do, you can't change your life, because you will always be blaming everything around you, and everything around you is out of your control. And on that note of being out of control with the things around you, I know firsthand that there are things that happen to us that are traumatic or extreme. And those things we cannot control. And there are periods in life where we have to go through healing, where we have to go through just surviving. And then we get to a place where we're like, okay, now I can make the decisions to get to the life I want. There are those seasons, and I'm not going to negate that, but how you respond, even the decision to heal or figuring out how to find help in healing your heart for any trauma that you've been through, even that in and of itself is a decision. It's a decision and a response to what has happened to you on the outside, which that stuff you can't control. You can control your responses, and you can control your everyday decisions. The outside world isn't always going to comply, and the outside world and the people around you aren't always going to do what you want. If you continue to daily take those tiny little decisions towards that vibrant, radiant life that you want, you will eventually get there. Yes, there will be little bunny trails that take you off the path sometimes, but overall you will get there. And those decisions will compound into the life that you want to be living. So if you are in an unhappy or even abusive relationship, it's your decision to leave. It's your decision to stay. That is up to you. You can't control that other person. If you are overweight, like I am right now, that was my decision to overeat. Yes, it's winter. Yes, I went through a lot of trauma in my life, but those are all excuses. Those are all reasons, but they're still all my choice, whether to exercise, whether to eat properly, whether to ignore the fact that it's winter and just go out anyway in the dark, or find a place to walk, or get a membership to a gym, to not allow unhealthy food in my house, so that when I do feel like snacking at night because there's nothing else to do in the winter, that I don't have the opportunity to do that. Not easily anyway. If you're not making enough money and you're not where you want to be financially, yes, there could have been some outside factors. Maybe you lost your job, but there are also decisions that you have made all within that trajectory of the process of that. You could have gone back to school. You could have started your own business while you were working somewhere else. And every night while other people were going out and partying or getting together all the time or watching Netflix and doing relaxing things, you were working on your business so that you could quit the job you hate and wasn't making you enough money. And now you're financially free and maybe even remote that you can move around. Every decision we make is why our life is where it is. The taking responsibility is hard. And some people who watch this are not going to like that. They're not going to like the fact that I say it's our responsibility for where our life is. Well, the first time I heard that, I did not like it. I said, well, what about this and what about that? But if you're asking yourself that and making excuses based on the world around you, you have not yet gotten to a place where you can take responsibility, and therefore you have not gotten to a place where you're going to be able to change your life. Again, it's a two-sided coin. There's the bad part of, I have to take responsibility for where my life is right now. But the other side of it is, if I take responsibility, then I know it's up to me to change it. Anything else around me does not matter because I have the power to change every facet of my life and get to the life that I want. And I think that's the part we have to focus on. This isn't a blame game, but until you take the responsibility, you'll stay where you are, or it'll get worse. And I'm not even remotely saying that this is easy. It is not easy. It's not easy to take the responsibility, and it's not easy to change the trajectory of your life or even one area of your life. It takes intention, it takes humility, it takes willpower, and it takes the desire to want something so badly that you think, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get that. And in that, then every decision you're making, think, does this decision take me closer to this life of radiance and my dream life? Or does this decision take me closer to strife and drama and issues? That's the question we should be asking with every decision every day. And the opposite is true too. You have to take responsibility if you're in a place in a certain area of your life or as your whole life that you're unhappy. But you also get to take credit if you are in a happy place in your life in that area or as a whole. If you made those decisions to go to the gym, to eat healthy, to nurture your relationships, to be humble, to apologize, to go to school at night, to build a business after work. Those are all things you have to give yourself credit for when you do them, so that you realize that those decisions are what got you to that wonderful outcome. And so that you realize you can do that in other areas of your life as well that you're not happy in. And sometimes I truly think that we think it is too late. It is too late to get from this life of strife to this life of radiance. But it's not too late. You're still here. You're still breathing. You still have the opportunity of life and of change. You can go from this life to this life. Now, is it going to take time? Yes, especially if the life that you're currently living has a lot of entanglements. It's like I have a lot of necklaces, and sometimes my necklaces get very tangled up because I have not taken the time to take them off properly and put them up properly where they don't get intertwined with each other. I'm getting much better at it, but there have been times in the past where it took forever, and I enlisted the help of a friend who has a lot of patience for this to unentangle them, to get them to a place where I could see what is what, where I could see, okay, this one is okay and this one needs to go, and which necklace is this? I don't even know where to begin. Some of the areas of your life will be like tangled necklaces, and you will take time to untangle them, to get them back into a state of organization where you can see what's going on and make decisions from there. And I have had the thought, and you may have heard me say this in other videos, that the thought of, but it's going to take so long to get here, has crossed my mind many times. But my mom always said to me, the time is going to pass by anyway. So I'm 44. What if my YouTube channel took 5 years to build into a place where it was making me income and creating the life that I want, of freedom financially and of the freedom to be remote, all of those things? What if it did take 5 years? I hope it doesn't, but it could. It could. I don't really have control of that outcome. The only thing I control is the decision to continue with it and to be consistent in the little daily decisions. It's the same thing with my weight loss. I could lose only 1 pound a week, but if I lose 1 pound a week in a year, that's gonna pass by anyway. I'll be down 52 pounds. That's not small. I think we think it has to happen immediately or quickly for us to think that it's gonna happen, but that's not life. It took time to get to where you are. It's gonna take time to get out of that, or to change it around, or to reverse where you've gotten to because of your decisions. And if something you really want is going to take 5 years, wouldn't you rather be at that place in 5 years than where you are now, or at a worse place because you never took the time or energy or intention to move to that life that you wanted? I think back 5 years, and I did not think I would be where I am right now 5 years ago, but I didn't make any decisions to change certain things. So now I'm very intentionally building a foundation for what I actually want in every area of my life. And if it only took 1 year or 2 years for me to get to certain areas of my life that I really want to get to a goal, amazing. But what if it took 5 years? What if it took 7 years? I'm going to get to that point in my life anyway. I might as well be at my goal then than where I am now. Right? So yeah, maybe the thing that you have to untangle is going to take a lot of time, but the time is going to pass anyway. So be where you want to be at that time. And here's an awesome point to this. They say that the actual journey of setting a goal and progressing towards that goal, the progression is where you get the biggest, highest dopamine hits, where you feel the most fulfilled and where you feel like you're making progress, like it's exciting and it's a high. When you get to that goal, often that high dips. So if over the next 5 years you are continually progressing to that life that you want, to that goal that you want, you are going to be substantially happier and more fulfilled because you are making progress towards it, even though you haven't hit that goal yet. Okay, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Go out, be a blessing, and rise into your radiance. Much love.